Ever wanted to know how to dispute items on your credit reports? Welcome to Your Clear Thinking. I'm Roderick Mitchell, author of Credit Straight Talk, Clarity on the Conspiracy. This video is part of a series of videos designed to help you build a solid credit foundation. In this video, I will talk to you about how to dispute items on your credit reports. The first step is to evaluate your credit reports for correctness and questionable items. I hope you have already watched the video on checking your credit reports for errors. If not, I suggest you do so. After you have evaluated your credit reports thoroughly and decide what you want to dispute, it is time to submit a dispute to the credit bureaus about what you have discovered. Write a letter that includes the name of the account number, and a description of the error. Make your description of the error as detailed as you can. Give each error you find its own letter unless the same account has multiple errors then include them in the same letter. Covering more than one error in a letter will increase your chances of being flagged as frivolous. The same letter must go to each one of the credit bureaus describing the same thing. One to each, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So make one letter, make multiple copies, and send one to each one. Before you write your letters, I would suggest you watch the video on eOscar, the credit bureau watchdog, to improve your chances of success. Submit your letters to each credit bureau, and the credit bureaus will contact the creditors that supply the information to them and request the investigation of that information. The creditor will investigate your account, and when the investigation is completed, the creditor will give the investigation results to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus will contact you to pass on the creditor's investigation findings and an updated copy of your credit report showing the changes that were made, if there were any. If the investigation result is what you wanted, then you are done. If you did not get the result you wanted, you will have to repeat the process a second time with a more detailed explanation, asking for a re-investigation of your account. It is also possible that it will take a third, more strongly worded letter to be sent to the credit bureaus, explaining that you know the credit report rules and offering to report them to the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC for short, is the body that governs credit bureaus. Remember that credit bureaus are only obligated to pass along the creditor's findings without an in-depth explanation unless you request the sources and methods used to perform the investigation. The sources and methods information must include the business name, address, telephone number, and the document used for supporting the facts of the investigation. If the sources and methods information is not provided in its entirety in the prescribed time frame, you cannot be held accountable per the rules of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 611. I cover the topic of sources and methods in the eOscar Credit Bureau Watchdog video. Watch it to get a clear understanding of eOscar. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is part of the Consumer Credit Protection Act, the CCPA, which is administered by the Federal Trade Commission. The Consumer Protection Act will be discussed in detail in a future video. In the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the time frame stated for investigations, responses to inquiries, and removal of incorrect information are set with tight deadlines. And these deadlines are to prevent credit bureaus from dragging out investigations and responses for long periods of time. You are responsible for keeping good records and documenting the dates that you contacted the credit bureaus and if they responded within the proper time frame. The credit bureaus often have a difficult time responding in the set time frames, which is to your advantage. You cannot expect credit bureaus to report a time frame date that's favorable to you and working against themselves. The best way to document your contact with credit bureaus is to use the U.S. Postal Service Special Delivery Services, registered or certified mail. The registered and certified mail services document the date, time, and receiver of your letters at the credit bureau locations. The special delivery receipts are honored by the Federal Trade Commission as proof of your information delivery to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus do not like to be reviewed by the Federal Trade Commission and will often give in to you because the postal receipts can prove the time frame rules were either maintained or violated. The Federal Trade Commission governs the credit bureaus tightly, so they are less likely to protest if they don't have a clear victory. The reason credit bureaus give in readily is to prevent publicity of the incident. It is cheaper and less hassle to remove the disputed credit information from your single account than to cause a noteworthy event disputing rules. The risk of the publicity caused could cause a large number of consumers to pursue a similar course of action as you did. The idea is to cut the losses and keep it quiet from the public. One small loss will not hurt, but if thousands of consumers make the same claim, losses could be staggering. Remember that if you contact credit bureaus by the internet, you forfeit some of your rights as a consumer. One of the rights you forfeit is the right to have original documents as investigation validation. The original documents needed to validate investigations are not available in their original form, but can be substituted by digital copies because you use the internet, which is a digital medium. The substitution is agreed to because when you use the digital medium, you made it eligible to be used. If you don't use the internet to dispute your information, that information would have to have been removed from your credit file because they could not provide original documents as proof. Because we are in a digital age and they probably do not exist as paper anymore. Another right that you forfeit is the proof of contact. It allows credit bureaus to report a favorable date of receipt of your information for themselves because there is no good way to hold them accountable when you send it via internet. You should always know the statute of limitations in the state of your residence concerning credit reports. The due diligence used in carefully evaluating the credit reports is critically important. Any discrepancy discovered may result in the credit item being permanently removed, restoring whatever penalties that were associated with that item. In this video, I talk to you about disputing items on your credit reports. Remember to always request the sources and methods of the disputed information. Subscribe below and select the playlist to see all the videos in this series. I'm Roderick Mitchell, author of Credit Straight Talk, Clarity on the Conspiracy. Visit my blog, yourclearthinking.com. Together we ride.